Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie.
And could it be that we're not perfect?
Doubtful.
Today we are revisiting three whiskeys that, not to say that we actively disliked them, but perhaps they didn't hit our palates perfectly, or maybe we thought that they weren't a great value, or maybe we did actively dislike the juice. We're going to revisit three of them today, and we're starting with Maker's Mark 46 Cask Strength. Hardly a video goes by where a wheated bourbon is mentioned where somebody doesn't say, Maker's Mark 46 Cask Strength, best whiskey, you got to do a review of it, you got to tell us how much you like it. We've talked about this whiskey before in our wheated bourbon barrel proof flight. It was okay.
Yeah, I actually liked it enough. It was not my favorite. It wasn't as exciting as the other ones. So.
Yeah. And honestly, we thought that this one was a little bit hot. It definitely didn't bring the same sort of mouthfeel or palate appeal or really any of the excitement that you got from the wood finishing series from Maker's Mark, which those are great bottles that we think are a terrific value even at that higher price point of $60. So we know that there's a new batch of this out as well. So take anything we say here with a grain of salt, but we thought it was important to return to this bottle because we didn't care for it. We know a lot of you do, and we thought...
And we're Maker's fans.
We are Maker's fans. I think we need to get right to this tasting so that we can see, did we miss something? Grape soda and grass, caramel, vanilla.
Yeah, it's almost like a little dirty grass in there.
Dirty grass, yeah. Yeah, it's earthy, caramely.
Yeah.
It's a wheated bourbon, that's what I get here. I think the thing I dislike the most about this one, on the nose, it says 46 on the front. I'm expecting sweet oak and tons of sweet oak. I don't really get oak on this.
Should we do it?
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Ooh, it's very earthy. It's a little musty.
I just checked the proof on it because I was curious how hot it was. 109.6 proof. This drink's hotter than any of the other wood finishing series or Cask Strength Makers stuff that we've got, I think. Which is strange because it actually is lower proof than the rest of that stuff.
Yeah, I will say that it's not as flavorful as the wood finishing series or even just the Maker's 46 in general.
Yeah, I'm still down on this bottle. I know it's easy to say because we've got SE4PR5 on the shelf. We have the FAE01 on the shelf. But to me, the difference is that it drinks so hot. It's astringent and it starts to make my tongue I'm having trouble talking. See, it starts to make my tongue numb.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I dislike it.
Yeah.
But at that $60 price point, it has to be terrific because there are so many hitters at that price point. And to me, this just doesn't hit my palate.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's not overly unique. It's not overly flavorful.
Yeah.
It drinks really hot for 109 proof. I think it's because Maker's is putting out so many great bottles right now that this one doesn't live up to the promise of those other bottles. This is a one and done for us.
So I'm excited about this one because it was so bizarre when we did it in a challenge recently.
It's the weirdest rye. When you put it against other ryes, I would say.
And that's what I think. Like, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it was just the lineup it was in.
Yeah, and I will also say, I did this Whiskey in the Van Wednesday review by myself. At the time, I think I was fed up with it because this is, for us, an $80 bottle. I know there's other places out there, you're getting this for $55, $60. So take, again, all of this with a grain of salt based on your personal experience and your limitation for what you'd spend on this sort of thing.
Totally.
But this, for us, $80 bottle. It's a cask strength and 112 proof?
Yep.
Pikesville's 110, it's $30 cheaper.
Right.
So what we found in this when we compared it to our other ryes in that barrel strength challenge was grilled pineapple on the palate and charred notes and all kinds of weirdness.
It was a summer barbecue.
Summer barbecue, yeah. I will say this, it's not that I don't enjoy it, it's not that it's not unique, it's not that it's not very tasty at times. Well, we'll find out. It's the price.
It's $80.
$80.
It's a lot.
I hate that price, but let's give it another try. We haven't had this one in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm eager to put my nose back in it. Huh.
It comes across kind of spicy, hints of oak, caramel.
And today I'm getting orange zest and dill all over this.
Yeah, interesting. I'm cheersing you again.
Here we go. Many cheers.
Let's
Keep them
try
coming.
Ooh, very black licoricey on that. Wow, this tastes 1,000% different than the last time I had it.
And 100% better, I would say.
100% better. I actually feel shocked right now.
Yeah.
Like it's like so different than the last time we had it.
Okay, yeah. Brown sugar there, some vanilla, some caramel. Ooh. And yet there is that citrus coming through and rye grain now. I'm getting a ton of rye, which I love. I love tasting real rye grain in my rye whiskey.
Yeah, I got a little bit of like a darker oak, like an oak char.
And I love this one for its viscosity, the way it coats. The finish is long lasting. It really lingers.
If I remember correctly, I kept saying this one tasted like barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
That's not what it tastes like this time.
You were getting a lot of meat, and I was too.
Yeah. I feel wrong about this one. Like, I feel like this one deserved better than we gave it before.
Yeah. Well, and the one thing that I did say in the Whiskey and the Van Wednesday review of this, I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but I hated the price.
Yeah, the
Now,
price is still terrible.
I like it. I would say I'm just below loving it. And as long as Pikesville's on the market, you're gonna have to live up to that. I'm still buying Pikesville before this, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
I was wrong. This is better whiskey than I gave it credit for. This is solid.
So we don't talk about 1792 very often.
No, we really don't. And it's too bad because a lot of what they make, we really like. We like the single barrel, we like the bottle and bond. The small batch we think is a fine value. And the full proof, man, that's one of my all-time favorites. This is the one and only time that we tried a 1792 product and went, what is going on here? So this is 1792, aged 12 years, $50 MSRP, which is what we got it for. Well-aged whiskey at a good price, 96 proof. All signs point to this being a really good whiskey. Well, we got this one, so excited to try it. Whiskey in the Van Wednesday, and I was sitting here by myself tasting this on a Whiskey in the Van Wednesday, and Julie walked up because she could tell that I wasn't enjoying it, and she took a sip, and she felt the same way. About a month later, our friends Truth's Proofs Firewater Reviews reached out to us and said, hey, we got this bottle. We also didn't like it at first. Try it again now that it's opened up. So we're gonna give it a go. We have an Elijah Craig 18-year single barrel that is wonderfully musty. Dickel 15, this single barrel. We really, really like the flavor of that. You can just taste a little bit of the mustiness in the oak, but it's still sweet. And the oak profile hasn't been overwhelmed by oak spice. This one, we did not feel that way about. So let's go back to the nose and see just how this one's gonna perform today.
I'll say I like this nose. Very oaky, very caramely. A hint of pepper I'm getting.
Let's go for a sip of this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I did not like the initial sip. Then it did morph into a bit of sweetness, some burnt caramel there.
It's spicier on the back end, white pepper, but the sweetness is there. The oak spice doesn't overwhelm. Now, the oak is sort of rounded out by that bubblegum sweetness. This is a lot better. The 12 years here has definitely made something interesting happen in this bottle, and the oxygen that's now in that bottle is making it even more interesting.
I could pass on this.
What I dislike about this one still is the bitterness on the finish. I think that there's a lot to like here on the nose and on the palate, but when the tail end of it isn't super satisfying, it can ruin the entire sip, and that's what's happening here for me. It's not as harsh as it was when we first opened this bottle. A lot has changed.
Yeah. So I don't think I was wrong with my initial reaction. I'm not gonna grab this off the shelf. There's a lot more that I'd rather drink than this.
It's better than I remember.
Yeah.
But that bitter oak spice, that overly tannic note on the back end, it still ruins the overall experience. Maybe not as aggressively as it did previously, but it's still harsh enough where this one definitely is not my favorite. For $50, if I'm buying something from 1792, it's that full proof.
For me, only one of the three changed my mind, but I'm kind of pumped at Sagamore Spirit that it tasted so different. I mean, completely different than the first time, because, like I said, $80. That's a lot to not like.
It's a changeling. That one has been so different. Of the 3 times that we've really tried that bottle, completely different every time. I'm a little excited and scared to see where it goes from here. But yeah, the Maker's 46 Cask Strength, not our favorite. The 1792 aged 12 years, still a disappointment, even though it's considerably better than it was the first time we tried it.
So let us know what's the bottle that you were wrong about, or that you just don't like at all.
Yeah, tell us all about the bottles you don't like. Well, like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at The Bourbon Van. Join us on Patreon for exclusive live streams, content, merchandise, and more. And from wherever we are,
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I grabbed the Makers.